In a world of podcasts, five guys dare to discuss the peculiar, the terrifying, the unknown, and probably a lot of sports and beer. Stay tuned. It's about to get crazy. The Drink Beer and Bullshit Podcast.
Feel that?
I feel that.
What's it sound like?
Man, it sounds like March Madness is upon us.
It sounds like we're in the kennel.
Man, it sounds awesome.
Tell people where the kennel's at.
Spokane, Washington, home of the Gonzaga Bulldogs.
The number one team in the country.
Yes, sir.
Number one overall seed.
In the tournament for the first time in program history.
Are you excited?
Very excited, man. I can feel my heart racing right now. It's just pumping, just want to inject that right into my veins as we're kicking off this episode on March Madness, the men's NCAA tournament. We're going to give you a little bit of bracketology.
You're going to let them know what's up.
Yes, sir. I'm going to let them know what's up. I'm going to let them know it's party time and that I'm going to be one of your hosts this evening. And Swish is going to be my producer off the camera just through his microphone. So if you hear him, that's him talking.
You said I was too ugly to be in your segment, right?
He's too ugly to be on my segment. So
you want all the camera time. So
right.
Let's let these people know what the if they don't know, I'm pretty sure they know, but let's go through the matchups, man. Let's start in the West.
We're going to start in the West, where the number one seed Gonzaga Bulldogs, which we just talked about, are the number one overall seed for the first time in school history, are going to take on number 16 Norfolk or Appalachian State.
And that's a play-in game on Thursday, right?
Yes, those two teams are in that play-in game on Thursday, which will be at 5:40 p.m. They're both 16 seeds, obviously, so the winner of that game is going to play Gonzaga in the first round.
Who do we got next? What's another game coming from the West bracket?
We have number 8 Oklahoma versus number 9 Missouri. Oklahoma, they did all right. At one point they were number 7 in the country, so they can get after it.
Okay, and then we got Creighton versus UCSB.
UCSB, University of California, Santa Barbara.
Okay, and then we also have Virginia versus Ohio. Not Ohio State. Don't get it mixed up. That's Virginia versus Ohio. And Virginia, keep in mind, if they make it deep into the tournament, there's a possibility that they play the Gonzaga Bulldogs again, because they played them early in the season, didn't they?
Yeah, they played them earlier in the season, and I believe Gonzaga beat them by 23 points. And don't forget either that Virginia is also coming off COVID-19 protocol, so I heard they weren't going to get there till Friday to play on Saturday, if I'm not mistaken. And so that
really affects teams.
Exactly. Minimal practice, if not any practice. Who knows how they come out of the gate. We saw that with a couple teams towards the end of the season, how they were stumbling at the finish line.
What do we have next?
We have number 6 USC versus another play-in team, which is between Wichita and Drake. They will play on Thursday as well at 3:27 p.m. And it's not Drake, the singer Drake, it's the University Drake.
I hope it's not the singer Drake. The singer Drake seems to be like wanting to be in every locker room, so he might be in there anyway.
Right.
So this next matchup is an interesting one. It's number 3 Kansas versus 14 Eastern Washington.
That's a good matchup because Kansas is also coming off COVID-19 protocol, and they have 3 players that didn't travel with the team that they left back at home. And Eastern Washington is coming off the Big Sky Championship win, and
they can play them tough.
I believe they can play them tough. It's one game that you want to keep an eye on.
Especially if Kansas is on a crutch, right? Because they're not going to be at full strength.
Right.
And they haven't been playing particularly well this season anyway.
They haven't. They've had their ups and downs. And Eastern Washington, they can surprise, Kansas straight out the gate. They can That's what you want to see in the tournament. That's what you get excited about.
It happens.
It happens. It does. you'll have a buzzer beater or something exciting, an upset. Big upset.
Believe it or not, I have Eastern Washington upsetting Kansas in that matchup because I am from Washington, and I think they're gonna. I think they're gonna upset them. So I think
you have them upsetting Eastern. I mean, you have Eastern Washington upsetting Kansas.
Yep.
You just switched it right now, right? While we're talking about it.
Nope.
Oh, you had it before we made the.
It's my pick, and I picked it without any If you don't know us, we don't listen to analysts. We don't take their analysis. We do our own, have our own thoughts. We have our own choices and stuff. And I know that game is gonna
go Eastern Washington's way.
So let's get into the next one. You got what?
Iowa, number 2 Iowa.
Well, you missed the Oregon.
Oh, I got number 7 Oregon versus number 10 VCU.
And then you got Iowa.
To wrap up the West bracket, you have number 2 Iowa versus Grand Canyon. And once again, Iowa, if they advance deep into this bracket in this region, they can also meet up with Gonzaga maybe further down the line, which they also played earlier in the season in December. And Gonzaga beat them 99-88 when I believe Gonzaga was ranked number 1 and Iowa was ranked number 3 in the country. That was a heck of a game.
Okay, so moving on, we're going to head to the East bracket, and the matchups there look like what? Our first matchup is Michigan.
Our first matchup is the number 1 seeded Michigan Wolverines. They haven't been a number 1 seed since 1993. That's probably when Juwan Howard still played on their team, and now he's coaching them.
He's coaching them. Keep them. Let me hear more matchups. What do you got?
We have Michigan right there against Texas Southern or Mount St. Mary's. That's another play-in game that they'll play on Thursday. So the winner of that game will play Michigan. We have number 8 LSU versus number 9 St. Bonaventure, if I'm saying that correct.
St. Bonaventure sounds right to me.
Right. Then you have number 5 Colorado versus number 12 Georgetown. Number 4 Florida State versus number 13 UNC Greensboro. Number 6 BYU versus number 11, another play-in game between Michigan State University and UCLA. So the winner of that game will play BYU.
And that's crazy to have Michigan State University and UCLA to be in a play-in game.
Exactly that. They're usually a staple in this tournament. They're a high seed. They have been in the past. So yeah, like you're saying, it is very, very shocking that they're in a play-in game.
And BYU is in a conference that I pay attention to because they're in the same conference as Gonzaga. That's the WCC. That's the West Coast Conference. And we are familiar with BYU, and I think that they're going to play tough. And as a matter of fact, I think BYU is going to win that game no matter who they play. Because when they played Gonzaga in Las Vegas, they were on fire. And if they want to win, they can win. Gonzaga was just too powerful. They're too powerful of a team. But I think that BYU can beat Michigan State University or UCLA. So I'm looking forward to watching that game and paying attention to that game. So the next, we got what? Texas?
We have number 3 Texas versus number 14 Abilene Christian. And Texas, they've been playing pretty good. We have family that are Texas fans, so that's going to be one to watch. The group chat's always a little fun. I got a cousin that's diehard Texas Longhorns, and we've been chatting it up, and it's going to be a good one. It's going to be a good one to watch.
It's always fun that the team that you root for to be in the tournament, because I know Rigo says don't pick with your heart, but be more logical with your picks. But how can you go against your heart when your team's in it?
Right.
It's hard to try to pick logical.
You got to follow your heart, man. You got to follow your heart.
Just for the points. If you're in this, you want the points, so picking with your heart is dangerous. But if you believe that they can go all the way, you believe. Let's keep it moving. We got what? UConn and Maryland, another matchup.
Yep. Number 7 UConn versus number 10 Maryland. And to wrap up that region, you have number 2 Alabama versus number 15 Iona.
Let's move it to the South bracket.
Okay, here we are at the South bracket with the number 1 seeded Baylor Bears versus number 16 Hartford.
Is Baylor, I have a question for you on Baylor. Are they going through COVID protocols? Because towards the end of the season, were they not handicapped a little bit, like missing weeks?
They were towards the end of the season, regular season. I believe they missed 3 games, which was like 2 weeks, I think.
Do you think that will affect them in the tournament, or do you think they're going to be at full strength? That team that was a solid number 2 the whole season, vying for that number 1 spot until all the COVID stuff happened. Do you think they're going to be full strength for the tournament?
I don't think they're going to be full strength. I think they're going to struggle, continue to struggle, and they struggled in their last game. And once again, that's another one to keep an eye on Baylor. Another cousin of ours is Baylor alumni, and he roots for Baylor in the group chat. So we just, go back and forth, and I'm hoping to see Baylor at one point. We were supposed, when I say we're Gonzaga fans, I'm a Gonzaga fan. So Baylor and Gonzaga were supposed to play in December, but that game got canceled due to COVID, and we were hoping to see them in the tournament. And hey, maybe you will see them down the line, but I don't think Baylor will make it that far. But that's just me. That's my opinion.
Good luck, Baylor, and good luck, their fans. We're going to keep it moving. North Carolina and Wisconsin, another matchup. North Carolina has not been playing great this season either.
Not at all. They haven't been playing great, but they're coached by Roy Williams, and they can still get after it. In the tournament, anything can happen. They're number 8 seed, but you get a little bit of lightning in a bottle, and you can make a run. And now we have number 5 Villanova versus number 12 Winthrop. And that's what you like to see. Maybe a team like Winthrop to upset Villanova, Villanova's also been kind of shaky. They've been seeded in the top 10. And I think they got all the way into the top 5. But like you said, they start struggling a little bit. And who knows? You get to a shaky start in the tournament, and you don't know what can happen. You don't know if you can recover from a bad first half.
Yeah, that's for sure. So we're going to keep it moving. We got another matchup of Purdue and North Texas. We'll go. Another matchup is Texas Tech versus Utah State, Arkansas versus Colgate, Florida versus Virginia Tech, and to end that bracket is Ohio State and Oral Roberts. That is the South bracket.
That's the South bracket, correct.
And we're going to move it to the Midwest bracket. Tell me about the Midwest bracket.
The Midwest bracket is led by the number 1 seeded in that bracket, in that region, the Illinois Illini. They ended the regular season as the number 2 team in the country, and they will take on Drexel. And Illinois has been playing some good ball right now.
There's a lot of guys picking them to be in the national championship.
Right.
So they think highly of them. But what do we do here? We don't listen to professional analysis. We make our own analysis.
Everything we do on here is our opinions. It's what we think. We're not saying what, like Swish said, the professional analysis. No, we don't really pay too much attention to them just because we have bad experiences following their ideas.
Right, so we'll keep it moving to another matchup, which is 8 and 9 Loyola Chicago, 8-9 Georgia Tech. We're going to see a Tennessee, number 5 Tennessee against a number 12 Oregon State, and we have friends that are definitely Oregon State fans.
Yep.
They're close to the state. They're rooting for them.
They're rooting for the Beavers.
We're going to see how far the Beavers can go in the tournament. We'll keep it moving. A number 4 Oklahoma State against a number 13 Liberty. A San Diego State against an 11 Syracuse. West Virginia against a Morehead State. Clemson versus a Rutgers. And to finish all the games is Houston versus Cleveland State, and that wraps up the Midwest bracket. So those are your matchups for the March Madness NCAA Men's Tournament.
First round of 64.
That's the first round of 64, and the round of 64 is going to be played this weekend, and the round of 32 will wrap up on a Sunday and Monday. So I think what we're going to do really quick is go through the teams. We're going to go through Art's teams to see what he picked and how they match up, the winners and losers. And then after that, we're going to check in the following week and keep it updated to see how good Art is doing with his picks, along with the people of our challenge for the ESPN Tournament Challenge that people are signing up for.
Okay, so we're going to go back to the West, where I have Gonzaga advancing. Then I have Oklahoma beating Missouri, Creighton beating University of California, Santa Barbara, Virginia beating Ohio. I believe Wichita will win the play-in game, and they will also beat USC in advance. Kansas will beat Eastern Washington, Oregon will beat VCU, and Iowa will beat Grand Canyon. As I look down to the East, Michigan will beat one of the play-in teams. Whichever one it is, I believe they'll beat them. I have St. Bonaventure beating LSU. I have Georgetown upsetting number 5 Colorado. I also have Florida State beating UNC Greensboro. I have the winner of the Michigan State and UCLA game beating BYU, which I think it's going to be UCLA, I believe. And then I have Texas beating Abilene Christian, Maryland beating UConn, and Alabama beating Iona to round up the East bracket. As we go up to the South bracket, I have number 1 Baylor advancing. I have North Carolina also beating Wisconsin, Villanova beating Winthrop, North Texas with the upset over Purdue and advancing into the round of 32. I have Utah State upsetting Texas Tech. I have Arkansas beating number 14 Colgate, Virginia Tech beating Florida, and to round that region up, Ohio State beating Oral Roberts. And let's head down to the Midwest bracket. I have the Illinois Illini beating Drexel, Loyola Chicago beating Georgia Tech. I have Oregon State upsetting number 5 Tennessee. I have Oklahoma State beating Liberty. And I have San Diego State beating Syracuse and advancing. West Virginia beating Morehead State. And Rutgers beating Clemson. And to round up that last Midwest bracket, I have Houston beating Cleveland State. And that wraps up the first round of 64. So those are my winners that advanced to the round of 32, which will be played on March 21st through the 22nd.
Wow, that's not bad. Are you pretty confident in your bracket?
I am. I'm pretty confident. You know, you know there's going to be some upsets, but it's just about picking them. It's really who you have a feel for. You know, it's just a crapshoot. It's our guess. You know, we're saying nobody knows for sure what's going to happen.
And most importantly, it's all for fun.
It's all for fun, exactly. It's all for fun, bragging rights, you know. And if we get there, and you know, I'm hoping to have a perfect bracket. Is it going to happen? I guess we'll have to wait and find out, right?
Right. So I think that's gonna wrap up this video. We gave you guys the matchups, and we gave you Art's picks for the first round. And I think, what are we gonna do after the first round? Maybe even probably another video after the second round, and then you can go through your second round and let them know.
Yeah, I think we'll recap after round 32 and see where we're at. We can do a little update on it and see what we've gotten right, what we've gotten wrong, and see what teams obviously have advanced to the Sweet 16. See if our team is still there. See if my team is still there. You know, I don't want to spoil anything and tell you who I've picked to win the national championship game, but you know, I don't want to give you any hints at all.
no hints.
You know, it's a surprise.
So let's you want to tell them about the tournament challenge that the Drink Beer and Bullshit podcast started?
Yeah, we started a tournament challenge on ESPN Tournament's challenge site, and if you want to join, just go to our podcast Instagram page, which is
DrinkBeer-N-BS. I believe it's DrinkBeer-N-BS, and the links are there.
The links are right there in the bio, and you can go and sign up. Or if you already have an ESPN account, you can just sign up for the tournament and join our group. Put your bracket into our group, which is the Drink Beer and BS Tournament Challenge group. We will have a couple prizes, a grand prize second place prize and third place prize. You know, the more people that get signed up, the better, you know, just to show off to your I'm not going to say skill, I guess, because it's not a skill, but just to show off, to see if you can, you know, get the bragging rights for the year and call yourself a champion.
Right.
You know,
So I wanna the Instagram page is DrinkBeer-N-BS podcast, and that is Drink Beer, the letter NBS podcast, and that's how you can find the links to join the challenge.
All right, with that, I think we're gonna end this video, and thanks for listening. Thanks for being with us tonight on this video.
That is the Drink Beer and Bullshit podcast YouTube video. If you guys could like it, subscribe, you guys can leave comments. Leave in the comments who you think is going to win. It doesn't matter. It's for fun. We're going to get it cracking, and I think Art has something else to say.
Yeah, guys, we'll get back to you on the next video on the recap. And I just want to say thank you again, and it should be a fun March Madness, and hopefully your team's there in April at the end.
Ooh, that gets your blood going on.
That gets my blood going, that gets my heart pumping, that gets everything just, it feels good. Oh yeah, I forgot one more thing. Go Zags.